next up, we are moving to Arto and Matt from ASIMOV Protocol. I'm going to bring you guys on stage. We have Arto here, Matt here. Welcome back, guys. Familiar faces.
Hello, hello.
Love it.
Yeah, indeed.
Always love to be back.
Yeah.
Well, just a quick reminder, even though you've been here a bunch. Who are you guys? What is ASIMOV Protocol? And what did you guys ship this week?
Sure. So I'll start off with that. So what is ASIMOV Protocol? So myself and Arto are two of the co-founders of ASIMOV. We are building the infrastructure for a decentralized, verified knowledge base using knowledge graphs designed specifically for AI agents to reason over. And I'll show you why that's of interest in a second here. But think of it as the semantic layer for AI, where structured data, provenance, and like decentralized compute all come together in one place. And one of the specific aspects of this is, let me share my screen here, is what we want to do is make the sort of foundational models effectively interchangeable and shift the value to the data, right? This is something that we've been working on. And what is interesting to see is, I mean, this was a tweet from Andrej Karpathy earlier on today, and based on an announcement released about Gemma 3N, talking about how these models you can actually run locally now, right? And so the idea being to shift kind of split the intelligence up so you have a cognitive brain that is able to reason, but really move all the encyclopedic knowledge outside of the model and into a separate library of information. And that's what ASIMOV is, right? So ASIMOV is a series of knowledge graphs that the AIs can consult. So the idea being is that the models themselves are interchangeable. So a better model comes along, you can use that. You want to use a hosted model, you want to use a local model, keep everything local, you can do that. So we're really kind of sort of skating to where the puck is going with this. And to that end, Arto gave a little bit of a tease of this last week, but we have launched our new website, ASIMOV.Sh. And so this gives you a bit more information about what we're doing here and some examples of using, for example, the LangChain ASIMOV loader. And I'll give another example of that in a second here. So we have that, which is finally launched, which is good. We have the ASIMOV.Directory, which I think I showed last time for people, which is a directory of all like the modules and data sources you can get to and use with ASIMOV. And we also have the ASIMOV.Specs website, which gives you all the specifications you need to build on the ASIMOV protocol. And one of the things I'm going to be doing is working on basically an LLM-friendly version of this so that you can directly point whatever, Claude Code or whatever tool you're using in, MCP tooling in Cursor or whatever, to be able to ingest this in and help you build with that. So just to quickly state here that you can actually, as sort of shown on there, we can actually use something like LangChain and use the ASIMOV loader in LangChain. And with not a huge amount of code, you can build a knowledge graph application here to output data. So in this case, it's using ASIMOV to extract directly from DuckDuckGo. So it recognizes the URL as DuckDuckGo, goes and gets it, does a query for Isaac Asimov, brings back the data. But what is interesting is it has actually augmented it with some intelligence here. So it has actually worked out and said, okay, well, Robert Heinlein was a person. Arthur C. Clarke was a person. Boston University is an organization. So that's adding more semantic information in, which is what Asimov's all about. I'll pass over to Arto now because he's going to talk about some more release stuff.
Alrighty. Let's see. So we are in the middle of the platform rollout. And this is basically the last sneak preview because everything goes out on Monday. That's usually a good day of the week for big launches. And I'm going to just show a sneak preview, and then starting on Monday, everything will be nicely documented, long form tech blog post and so on. Let's look here at a couple of things. Yeah, so first of all, we had indeed the blog went also live this week. So this is literally asimov.blog. There is some initial content there, and there will be soon technical content there as well. So subscribe to the blog over at ASIMOV.blog. On GitHub, we have now made available the ASIMOV command line interface. So this is installable via multiple methods, including Homebrew on macOS and Scoop on Windows. And of course, the usual cargo install and the like. And there is also, there are various extensions to the base command line interface. There's another one that's available, the module command line interface, command tools for that. We are building an entirely extensible platform, so there's a rather large number of different components, which will all be explained in the introductory blog post on Monday. Over on Twitter, please follow us at ASIMOV_platform. This is specifically for platform updates, such as indeed some releases today. So these are the last -dev releases prior to the actual tagging of 25.0, which is effectively our 1.0 for the platform. A year in the making. Very, very satisfying to finally get it out. Let me see. I could just demonstrate this also a little bit live from the terminal. So let's take the terminal here. So this is all available already if you know the magic incantations, and this would be things like tapping that particular Homebrew tab, and then going ahead and installing the ASIMOV CLI, and sure enough, we have that available. But it's not super useful yet by itself. We generally distribute it using a bunch of these subcommands. So similar system as Git, where Git is distributed as 100 binaries, where we don't quite have 100, but we do have a few. And for example, let me just show, for variety's sake, we're installing the module CLI from Cargo instead of Homebrew. So one of the awesome things about the Rust ecosystem, of course, dependency hell is a thing of the past. You just cargo install, and things generally work out pretty nicely. At least if upstream has done, a reasonable job. So this is how you would get any ASIMOV component onto your machine. And I think we've already in previous weeks demonstrated a lot of the practical functionality here. So I won't rehash that. We'll have some cool demos next week. And that will be more interesting than just fetching data. So I would leave it at that for now. You showed Matt the spec site as well.
Matt, you're muted.
Yeah, I showed the spec site. Yep.
Okay. Cool. So Cameron, any questions here?
No, not really. It's all pretty straightforward. I guess one question is, like, I see ASIMOV doing, there's a lot of stuff going on, and knowledge is a very large space. So if you were to sort of talk about like the immediate sort of almost two-liner or one-liner of what ASIMOV is doing that is relevant for AI builders today, what would that be?
Sure. So the way we are phrasing it is that we are building what will be the leading platform for trustworthy neuro-symbolic AI. And just to unpack that, trustworthy is rather important, and unpacking that is going to take a blog post. Neuro-symbolic means the combination of knowledge graphs with LLMs. There isn't really any kind of existing standard or player in this space. We aim to be that. And as you can imagine, Cameron, there's no conceivable name on this planet and the history of mankind that has, let's say, this similar kind of claim to trustworthiness in AI as ASIMOV. After all, he's the first AI aligner in history, which is the 3 laws of robotics. So that's what this has always been about for me, trustworthy AI. AI that knows where the data came from, why it should trust it or not, and is able to make better decisions, and as a result, we are able to make better decisions as humans.
Got it. So it's primarily on just the data, like essentially data structuring in order to make sure these LLMs have a better, easier time processing.
Look, there's Cameron, there's a multi-year timeline here, which is again all about trustworthy AI, and that has implications far beyond the data itself. I mean, for example, why do we write in Rust trustworthy AI, right? We don't want to be segfaulting and corrupting memory like Llama CPP, for example. So we aim to build reliable systems. But we are beginning off with the knowledge part, and hence I shall limit my answers mostly to this at the moment.
Checks. Matt, is there anything you want to add?
No, I think that's it. Check out the website. We'll be doing some more demos, like Arto said, a bunch of stuff being released on Monday, and yeah, I'll be putting together some more demos for people to actually kind of have a play with it.
And Cameron should also mention aside here that we are beginning our first institutional round.
Oh, cool. Well, congratulations on all the progress. We'll DM you about the round, and thank you for joining.